I have no idea what's going on. This game is a trip. This is what happens when Resident Evil and Silent Hill have a baby, and it grows up to be way into anime girls. The atmosphere and tone will be familiar to anyone who's wandered around that quiet, foggy town. And the way it plays will feel very familiar to anyone who's done a round or two with Mr. X. There. Too long, don't watch. Game is a mix of the best survival horror games. Good game. Play it. For everybody else, let's go do a little digging. Bear, you know what's up. So, unlike my other reviews, we're not going over the whole game. I don't want you knowing shit. So instead, we're gonna go over some pros and cons. Dig through some of the cool shit the game has to offer. First, bit of context. The game was released October 27th, 2022, by a German development team called Rose Engine Games. Everyone who knows your bud Nerf immediately tossed it my way. Not gonna lie to you, I ignored it. Heard nothing about it and just kinda forgot about it. While I was working on the RE2 video, shameless self-promotion, watch that, share it, Bear needs new hoodie, I decided to pick it up. It was on sale, booted it up, and I played it start to finish. I was that sucked in. I should have listened to my boy Matt when he tossed at me. He knows his shit. You should go check him out if you're into masochism. So, let's go over pros. No particular order, I'm just gonna wing it. The music is great. Hits the vibe well. I don't talk about music in most reviews, mainly because I don't know a thing about music. On the other hand, this was way better than I was expecting. Also, this little Easter egg here tickled me pink. The atmosphere is great, oppressive, kinda surreal, and for a pixelated game, there's a lot of environmental detail to soak in. Lots of storytelling through the environment as well. They knew what feeling they were going for, and they fucking hit it on the head. The options are pretty extensive. Change difficulty, inventory settings, game settings, good shit. The puzzles are outstanding, and make your bud here feel even more brain damaged than I already am. It gives me old school Silent Hill vibes with its puzzles. Again, good shit. Lots of files give us the goods on what this place is, the writing is well done, hits that RE trope well. These guys are wearing their inspiration on the chest, and it shows. Control-wise, it plays a lot like old school RE, all the way down to being able to turn on true tank controls, and they feel pretty good. However, they actually nailed 3D movement, so it's all preference to who's playing. Back to Control, inventory management, health, item boxes, map setup all feels straight out of the old RE games, making it pretty easy to jump in and start playing. It has its own unique stuff to separate itself, like the modules or an instant revive because this game is punishing. Camera is fixed, over the head isometric thing, pretty familiar. Weapons feel nice, sound meaty, shotgun gets Nerf seal approval. As I say, safety through superior firepower. You also have access to a taser thing. Disposable, we'll have to find more as we go, but it will knock an enemy on its ass immediately. Don't sleep on them. The overall way the story feels and the atmosphere really gives me old Silent Hill vibes, and that's probably the best part by itself. We haven't really had a good Silent Hill game since 3, and this scratches that itch. And that by itself is probably the best compliment that I can give. Multiple endings for some added replayability. It's not a short game, but it's also not a 12-hour run. So it hits that sweet spot for a horror game, I feel. Price for the package is more than fair. $20 for a well-polished survival horror game that even if you rush, will take you 8-ish hours to complete. It's an easy recommendation for anyone who misses the old days of RE and Silent Hill. Well, time for some negativity. Nothing is perfect, and this is no exception. Same deal, no real order, I'm just gonna wing it. Enemy design is pretty sparse. You'll see all the enemies by the halfway point. Not necessarily a problem, but it is noticeable if you're looking for more variety in your combat. Some puzzle design can be annoying and bordering on way too much to get a small step forward to inevitably hit another puzzle. It can be draining trying to do a run in one sitting. Controls feel like old Resident Evil, but swap run and inventory from the old school games. And that's a sin. Because of how similar the game feels to an old Resident Evil game, playing with a controller, I cannot stop hitting the wrong button. It's even more annoying that there's no config fix in the settings. Being able to remap it would be nice. I can't play this with the controller at all. Keyboard and mouse is the only way for me. Yes, I could go to Steam and fix it through the controller settings there, but I shouldn't have to. What about console players? They can't do that. Remapping controls doesn't feel like a big ask. The enemy alert noise is gonna get annoying. No two ways about it. It's just gonna. Accept it, zap it, shoot it, stomp it, move on. Don't try to rush and ignore the files if you want to have any idea what the fuck is going on. There is a lot of reading, and I can see that being a turnoff for a lot of people. Old RE fans, this might be a little excessive, but the plus note is, all the files are pretty short, there's no novels here. No unlocks that I'm aware of, so replayability is going to come down to how much you like the story and the setting, and the multiple endings. Again, not really a problem, but something to be aware of. Bumping into enemies will damage you, and personally, I like this, but I can also see this as a sin in survival horror. The amount of times you have to bump into shit in RE, Silent Hill, Siren, whatever, running for dear life, if you got damaged every time, that would make a lot of those situations a fucking slog. Here, I think it fits, but even then, I can't help the feeling sometimes of, oh, that's bullshit. I can bump a hunter and that fucker will decapitate me. I can't get that thought out of my head sometimes. Just be aware. The damage feedback on you can be a bit much. Again, I get it because story, tone, yada yada, but fuck, how is this helpful at all? Yeah, let me tone this down, game. All in all, this is a fantastic game. Shove it down the throat of all the horror junkies you know. This is the best Silent Hill game in a decade plus. I'll take it. This brief look review thing is an idea Bear had. We both were confused, and we wanted to talk about the game somehow, but we did not want to try to do this story. What the fuck is this? We want you guys to go experience it. So, rather than just rant into the ether, which honestly was the first idea, let's just toss some quick thoughts together. If this is kind of thing that you guys are interested in, you know, comment, let me know. Might be able to work some shit out. As for me, I've got a tall, dark, handsome gentleman in leather looking for a date. Oh, I'm coming for you, fucker.